I want you to have a think about this analogy. Imagine if you went and got on a long-haul aeroplane flight, let's say from America to Australia, and you got on and you asked the captain, hey, show me the plan, show me the flight plan that you've got, and the guy or the girl turned around to you and say, look, we haven't got any flight plan, we just want to get on this thing and hope for the best, hope we've got enough fuel in it, and away we go. My question to you, would you actually feel very confident to continue to strap the seatbelt on and do that flight? And the answer for most of the people watching this would be, no, it's not. Okay, I'm not going to do that flight. That's because they don't have a plan. And it's the same for business. If you think about this, if you're doing business, whether it be small, big, medium, does not matter, doing your business without a business plan is like getting on an aeroplane with no flight plan. Okay, it's the epitome of pin the tail on the donkey, okay? And it's kind of hopium, and I hope to hell I get this right. And for most people, they've got a lot of money, time invested in their business, yet they haven't actually got a plan. For me, that's the definition of crazy, okay? So what are the fundamental parts to get a great business plan? The first is you've got to be very clear on the purpose of the business in the first place. It's not just to go and put more money into your genes, okay? That won't give you longevity in the business. It needs to have a very strong why. What's the purpose? What's the social impact? What's it going to add value to the planet on? If you look at the great companies that have got very, very clear on their why, right, they make a huge difference with everything else. So you've got to start with why up front. Clearly, point number 2 here, you then actually have to have some goals. Okay, that could be 90-day goals, it could be 5 years, it could be 1 year. For me, I actually suggest for people that are new to business planning not to go too far out. Most of you watching this, if I said to you, would you have assumed where you are now 5 or 10 years ago, you would have said no, okay? That's because it's too far. So you try to put a goal too far out, it's the grayer it gets with the further the distance. So for most people that we coach in the first few years of coaching, that we're going to be doing about a 90-day to a year, maybe 24 months if someone can stretch that far. I think number 3 here is very, very important. Looking at the macro environment that I'm in. And there's 2 forms of analysis here. The first is a SWOT analysis. A lot of people know this already. This is looking, firstly, internal. What are the strengths of the organisation? What are the weaknesses of the organisation? I will need to know those up front before I go into battle. What's the O and the T stand for? That's around opportunity and threats. This is more external to your business. Okay, so you're going to have a look at them. You're also going to do this called a pest analysis. Okay, before you rush off into the moonlight and start trading, getting your business really ramped. I've done business plans with $500 million businesses right down to the one-man bands. Doesn't matter what your size, you've got to be having a look at this. What's the P stand for? That's about the political environment that you're in. Is there going to be some regulatory change that's coming down track 1 that's going to hammer your business? Well, I'm going to want to have a critical think on that. What's the E? That stands for economic. Okay, so if you're in Venezuela right now, okay, their economy is going in a really bad way, so you're going to need to know what that is. So you're going to have an economic. Social is the S. What's the social trends that are happening in your industry, your marketplace? Technology is the T. Are you going to get sabotaged on your business just because you've got a problem from a technology innovation coming down track 1? I think Kodak missed this one many years ago. Okay, they all thought that they were good and they were still going to be printing film. Turns out everyone these days wants a digital camera, so their business now went bankrupt, even though it was coining money back in the 80s. Okay, so that is a very important one. And last but not least is environmental. So is there going to be an environmental play in your area that's going to affect your business negatively or positively? Okay, so I'm going to go sort of this macro, which is the big picture that then clearly once we've done that and we're happy to go and play in that marketplace or go back into the battlefield I'm already in, is then to have a look at a micro. What's happening on my business at a ground level right now? for these goals to show up, I'm going to have a myriad of profit strategies. Now, I have that we coach people on over 400 different business profit strategies that people can choose, okay? And we've actually got videos on just about most of them, okay? So those need to be in a plan. Also, the important part on that is you can't do all of those in 1 month. You can't do those in a quarter. That's why you've got to critically think of when's the right timing of these profit strategies. It's the same here for leverage strategies. Leverage strategies to give you more leverage in your business so you're not there 24/7. This is around team and culture, systems, technology. What are you measuring? All right, these are all down here. Again, we've got about 200 different leverage strategies that we work with our clients every day so that these goals and this purpose shows up. Very, very crucial. I also, on good business plans and a marketing plan for that case, is we need to have milestones in there, okay? So I'm going to want to break this goal down into what's going to happen monthly, what's going to happen quarterly, so that can show up. I'm going to measure that along the road so that I can keep flickering back between what I wanted to happen versus are we actually making progress on the way there. That also means a budget. Okay, a lot of people that go and do a conceptual business plan are really good at coming up with the idea, but then when I actually then go and put pressure on them to say, well, tell me about the budget, tell me about the money flow, when's all that going to happen? Again, whether this is for an existing business or you're in a startup phase, does not matter, is, then people aren't as clear as, well, what's my budget going to look like along the road? So you've got to know what the business is going to do in a budgeting format. Clearly along the road, different people, the owner, the people that are working in that business are going to need good KPIs, key performance indicators, and the critical drivers that's going to allow them to show up. This is the cause, this is the effect. Okay, now you need that on all areas of the business, okay? You need that on the human resources side, the marketing side, the sales side. You need it on all parts on any great business plan. And lastly, for my goals up here and these strategies to get executed on, I've got to know what my organisational chart's going to look like. Okay, now whether that being in a very skinny environment, if you've got a small business or you're in a huge business, again, I've got to look at what are the people that I need internally, what do I need to outsource, subcontract, so that I can have leverage in the time to go and execute on these strategies for my goal to show up. So, guys, pin the tail on the donkey. It'll only work for a small amount of time. I promise you, you're going to hit a Mack truck if you try to do pin the tail on the donkey. All great businesses have a great plan. Okay, you can't go into battle without a great business plan. So, make sure you click through, inquire, look at your own plan if you've already got one. I'd love to see that. And let's go and put a great plan down for the next quarter, the next year in your business and your life. Thanks for listening. I'm Bruce Campbell.